This is Daniel Mart, and today I'm going to be doing another contest entry. This one's going to be for MantaComics123's 100 subscriber contest. So yeah, first off, congratulations. You definitely deserve those subscribers, and hopefully you get many more in the new year. So yeah, he asked about 5 or 6 questions. So yeah, let's get on with this. So the first question was favorite favorite TV show based on comics and favorite TV show that isn't based on comics. So yeah, so for the TV show based on comics, I think it's a bit easier in my opinion because as it's a bit easier to narrow them down in my opinion. For me, it'd have to be The Walking Dead and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1980s animated series. Two of my favorite TV shows of all time, and yeah, I mean I grew up this as a kid, and I've been growing up with this since I was a teenager, basically. So yeah, this is from when I was like 5 or 6 when I started watching this, and I don't know, now it's 12, I think I started watching this. So yeah, it's a pretty great show. They're both great shows, and yeah, I mean there's so many other great TV shows based on comics. You know, you have, I mean, this year you had the premiere of Gotham, Flash, and Constantine, and they were pretty good shows. Arrow is always great. You also have the current Ninja Turtles animated series in Nickelodeon, and that's pretty good. The Batman animated series was pretty good. So you know you do, and even the Batman, the original 1960s Batman was pretty good. Good. Smallville was okay in my opinion. I really don't like Smallville, but I do see why it does have the fans. I think it's okay in my opinion. It's not the best show, but I think it's okay. So I mean, there's so many great comic book shows out there. So yeah, and then for shows that isn't based on comics, my favorite original TV shows. Recently I've been watching Homeland, and I think it's season 4, season 5, I don't know. I just kind of jumped onto it, and I thought it was pretty good, so I asked for season 1. And yeah, I asked for it for Christmas, and you know, you ask and you shall receive. So I got season 1. But there's also a bunch of other great original shows. Breaking Bad is another one. Game of Thrones is another one. Big Bang Theory, Helix, Helix is another one. True Detective, and I mean, yeah, there's so many great TV shows out there. You know, it's just kind of hard to decide. So there's just some of my favorites. Then he asked between BA12 and Werewolf by Night number 32, which one would I pick? I choose Werewolf by Night 32. That's the first appearance of Shadow Knights. I'm gonna be honest, I don't really know the significance of BA12, so that's why I would choose the first appearance of Shadow Knights. Then he says Marvel or between Marvel or DC, who would I choose in comics, movies, animation, and television? So yeah, that's pretty hard. Overall, like just an overall aspect, would I say I'm more Marvel or DC? I think I'd say I am more of a Marvel fan. But I mean, if you break it down under comics, I'd go for DC because I don't really read any Marvel stuff. I don't really pick up Marvel stuff. I'm only really picking up 2 or 3 DC titles, and that's it. So yeah. Under movies, I mean, for movies, it's quantity over quality. I mean, you know, so yeah, it's quantity over quality. I mean, do you want a great movie every 2 or 3 years, or do you want a fun popcorn action movie every, like, 2 or 3 fun action popcorn movies every year? So that one's kind of difficult, but I think I'd have to go with Marvel. Though, you know, DC, they do have some pretty well done movies, most notably the Nolan trilogy. Next up, an animated series. I have to go with DC on that one because I've only really seen the DC animated series and the Teen Titans and Teen Titans Go animated series. I really haven't seen any of the Marvel animated series. So yeah, and then on the television as a whole, DC, I think it would have to take the cake for that one. So yeah, DC, I think would go for that one because they have just so many TV shows based on it. Because see, yeah, Marvel is basically the king of the silver screen, and DC is the king of the small screen. Because you know, DC, they have Arrow, The Flash, Constantine, Gotham. They had Smallville. the Batman animated series, the Batman all the way in the 60s. So yeah, they had Wonder Woman. So and really, Marvel only has had Hulk in the 60s, and then they just recently got. I mean, they had the Fantastic Four animated series. They have like 5 animated series on Disney's channel. Then they have Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and they have like 4 Netflix series coming up. 5 if you include the Avengers under that. And then they have Agent Carter, but still, some of those are kind of eh. You know, some of those are just we're starting to see what's going to happen to them. So yeah, I'd have to go for DC on that one. Next up is top 3 comic book movies. That one's kind of difficult. So from the movies that I have, I'd go with the Avengers. You know, it's a whole crossover event, one of the biggest events of 2012. The Dark Knight. I mean, really, how can you forget the Dark Knight? Let's be honest. You can't do a top 10 comic book movies without the Dark Knight. And then the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from the 90s. Again, I'm a huge fan of the Turtles. And yeah, I mean, there's so many other great movies. Iron Man, Iron Man, Captain America, The Winter Soldier, Days of Future Past, Guardians of the Galaxy, First Class. Yeah, actually, most of the X-Men movies, even the Wolverine movies. So yeah, most of those. And personally, I even like the Fantastic Four movies and Howard the Duck movie from like the 70s or 80s. So yeah. Next up is could I see myself collecting and still making videos in 1 year? Yeah, I could see myself doing that. Show 3 to 5 of my favorite comic books. Let me take this out first. So yeah, 3 to 5. First off, Batman Odyssey #6. It's signed by Neil Adams. I've said the story several times. I got this for $1 off a semi-drunk and or high vendor at a Comic-Con. So yeah, Amazing Spider-Man 700, the final issue of Amazing Spider-Man. I'm not reading the current Amazing Spider-Man series, and I really don't want to. I'm not really interested. But you know, it's the death of Spider-Man, you know. So yeah, and Dr. Octopus goes into his body, so that's pretty fucked up. Next up, The Walking Dead #100. The first comic I ever picked up has to be up here. Superman 75, the second printing or third printing. I mean, still the death of Superman, so you know, still it's the second or third printing, but you know, whatever. And then The Big Lie #1. It's a one-shot based on 9/11. I think it's pretty significant from a history standpoint. And yeah. So next up is if I could pick one #1 issue, which one would I pick? That's not Batman or Action Comics #1. For me, that one's extremely simple. Here, Walking Dead #1, right there. Walking Dead #1, followed by the Ninja Turtles #1. You know, I think it'll be between the Ninja Turtles #1 and Walking Dead #1, in my opinion. And I mean, yeah. So that's it for this contest entry. Again, congratulations to MantaComics123 for his 100 subscribers. Hopefully he gets more in the new year. And yeah, that's basically it for this review. Contest entry. Subscribe not only to me, but also to him. I'm going to leave a link down below to his channel and the video in which he discusses his contest. And yeah, he does comic book hauls, you know, like the rest of us. I do movie reviews, TV show reviews, and comic book reviews. So definitely do stay tuned for that. Besides that, comment down below on your thoughts on the video. And my MantaComics123. Have you seen him? And if not, why not? And if you have, what are your thoughts on him? Comment all that down below. Let me know. Congratulations once again. Like the video, share on Facebook, Twitter, MySpace, or whatever you guys prefer. And that's basically it for now. This is Daniel Mart signing off.